So this is a structured universe, and I'm just gonna briefly recap the last couple games in a nutshell. The one really good thing that we're seeing is Joel Embiid becoming a much better playmaker, a much better decision maker. Really, he's taking this new responsibility out of the high post area, and he's really doing a hell of a job with it. 6 assists, a 1 turnover. The one thing about this new role for Embiid that he's really excelling in, but one of the things that it kind of irks me a little is this. Joel Embiid is our engine. Joel Embiid is our MVP player. Sometimes in Embiid being a playmaker, sometimes I feel as though you're not getting. It'd be one thing if we had another option, right? But we don't. Let's be honest. We have Tobias Harris. And I'm saying that in a negative way. We have Tobias Harris. You have Furkan Korkmaz, Tyrese Maxey. I'm just going to be honest. Even I may have been a little bit overhyped. Year 1 to year 2, the progression is normally minor. But even that minor, sometimes you just don't see it. Especially didn't see it in this game. In fact, both games in a row, bad shot selection. Poor feel with the ball. Just get him off the ball. Get him on the bench. Microwave scorer. Whatever the situation may be. And I'm not really. It's not so much reactionary as it is. You're trying to get the best 5 on the floor. And I know I don't have any confidence whatsoever in Shake Milton. But I do not believe that we have the best 5 on the floor. I really don't. Danny Green played much better today than he did the other day. Which I know some people might say, well, he made shots. True, but at least he understood he's not here to take shots. Those 2 air balls, those 3 air balls, that comes from a YOLO, I'm going to handle the ball. He had one such possession in the second quarter where he's handling the ball, and the easy thing to do is to make a shot to him at that point, but then you try to kick it out as a turnover. And it's like, stop handling the ball. You're Danny Green. If we want a small forward to handle the ball, Dale Moy, get us a small forward. Because it's not Danny and it's not Matisse. Between those two, getting basically 35 to 37 minutes, what are you getting out of your small forwards? Almost next to nothing. And then Tobias Harris is inconsistent. And now we have playmaker Joel Embiid, which is setting up the shooters. And Jordan Yang comes off the bench. He plays well. Furkan Korkmaz gives you some shots. But generally speaking, where's the offense going to come from? You generated 113 against Oklahoma City, which is basically what it looked like in that 6 minutes of the fourth quarter in the Nets game. It's not I don't know. I know for a fact that here's the reality of the Sixers roster in a very simplified nutshell for everybody. We have some good role players. Some very expensive role players too, but good role players. We don't have another guy. If Embiid is off this team for whatever reason, extended injury, whatever, you're a lottery team. I'm going to call it right now. Dale Boy should stop thinking it's a contender. For it to be a contender, I need someone besides Joel. I need someone other than him to be a top 40 player. And I don't mean top 40 one night or a couple nights. I mean every night I could come in and I can expect he could score the ball. Or if he's a playmaker, create a dribble. If he's another postman, he dominates the post. Whatever the case may be. We're at the point where I don't care how it is. If it's going to be another talented post player, it's going to be another talented post player. If it's going to be a perimeter shot maker, it's going to be a perimeter shot maker. If it's going to be a Jason Kidd, 15 assists, I don't care. You've got to get a number 2 next to Joel Embiid. Otherwise, just trade Embiid. No, that's where we are. If you're not going to put a championship contender around Embiid, then you might as well. Because this is ridiculous. You struggled to win tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's absolutely absurd to me. That's ridiculous to me. To me, I don't get it. How are we struggling to win games against the Oklahoma City Thunder? It was the same thing a little bit with the Pelicans, too, until that outburst in the second half. How are we struggling to win games against teams that we should be beating? You know, you're up for 42 to 48 minutes against the Nets. How do you fail to close it out? This is just going to result in another second round exit. To be brutal. The top four team, look at what the Bucks did against the Spurs, 121 points. I don't think this team could score 121 on a good day. That's what I'm saying. The offense is poor. And Doc would agree, we are not getting good offense right now. And I don't know how long you could continue that, and I don't know how long you can continue having $33 million absent. I don't know how long you can continue that. If Ben Simmons is really afraid of the boos, we're going to boo you for 2 games, and then that's it. All right? That's it. Because Ben Simmons is not a point guard. I haven't changed from that. But the dreadful reality is the Sixers did not, well, we did. He just broke his shoulder, but the Sixers did not get a high-quality point guard. They didn't get a high-quality small forward. So even with all of Ben Simmons' known struggles, it is the best that we have, and that's a damn pitiful thing to say, especially at $33 million. But my Lord, I don't know what you do. And somebody say, this is pessimistic for a win. You should have blown this team out by 20. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder. Josh Giddy is a solid basketball player right now, has a great future ahead of him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a hell of a talent in of himself. All right, so I named 2. Did anyone flash out at me? Was it like, oh my God, this guy's a killer on the court? Other than Giddy, the answer to that is no. You were up 18 with about 8 minutes to go, and quite frankly, you should have been able to maintain that or cruise control. It's all about June. You know, I'm basically taking the mindset of sports talk with bros, especially after what happened with all. I don't care what happened in the regular season. I really don't give a shit. What I care about is, can we get to June? And the answer is still staring me in the face. No, you have to blow this core up. It can't get to June. You know, it's one of those things where you try year. And this core, it doesn't work. Tobias Harris should literally, I wish the NFL, you know how the NFL could be structured with contract. Tobias needs to be structuring like tomorrow. He's a solid number 3. He should be making $15 million, not $31 million. Same thing with Ben. If you could cut those 2 contracts in half, get a max slot, and then you could try to add one of the top 25, 30 players in the game. Because that's what you need next to Embiid. You need another weapon. This is like an NFL team without weapons, without legitimate receivers. I need a weapon. Because spot shooters are not weapons. And I say that even though Seth Curry came up humongous in that first quarter. 22.6 to 6 on the 3-point line in the first quarter. Without that, you don't win tonight. And that's in a nutshell. If you want the big long-term picture, think about that. Seth Curry is not that. He's not his brother. That's not going to be sustainable for even a portion of games. If that's what you're relying on to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, that tells you, Dale, you have to blow this up. It ain't real. Joe Embiid will make it look real. I want it to be real. Not a look, not a mirage, not something created by a top 3 player on the planet. I want him to have the weapons he needs to do what Giannis did. And we don't have that. We don't have a Drew-level talent. We don't have a Middleton-level talent. We don't have it. We have a bunch of nice role players who could be a part of a championship team, but they're not bona fide starters on it, and they're certainly not X factors on it. Point is, You gotta do something in January. You gotta do something at the deadline. This ain't it. And I don't want to hear any more about the number one sheet. Doc, that doesn't matter to me. I want to proceed in the tournament. What you do in the regular season at this point and at this juncture means absolutely nothing. This team could finish with a top 3 seed again, fall in the second round again, and it's like, what do we do this for? And that's where we are. What do we do this for? JJ Redick said something before coming to the Sixers. He said the expectation was the same every year and the disappointment was the same every year. And that's where we are. We are the new Clippers. The expectation is the same every year. Same result every year. One of the big reasons being the core just ain't it. The core ain't it. That's what the Sixers front offices understand. The core ain't it. I don't mind if you rebuild the core around Embiid. In fact, I recommend it. Stop diddling around and wasting time. That's what running it back would be. You're diddling around and you're wasting time. You want to know how you waste Embiid's prime? Another year of this. That's how you waste Embiid's prime. It's over. It was over when you lost 103-96 Game 7. It was over. Right then, I knew. Me personally, I was like, all right, that's it. It's done. It's never going to get where we want to go. We have to move on. I know, we won against the OKC Thunder. But again, it's big long-term picture. It's not, we won against Oklahoma City. It's how we won. We won off Seth Curry imitating his brother for a game. That's win number 2. Should be win number 3, right? But win number 2. But I don't know how consistent that's going to be. I don't know how consistent of a weapon that's going to be for 82 games for you to get to the 45, 46, 47 win level. I need Embiid to be able to reassert himself as the number one option on the offense. And I need, if we're going to do this with Embiid as a playmaker, which I don't mind, but if you're going to do that, if that's how you're going to run your offense, all the more, we need to get Embiid help. Get him a bona fide number 2. I don't care if you overpay. It's not about winning the trade. It's about getting what you need. I need Brandon Ingram. I need a top scorer. Whether it be Dame, Beal, whatever. You need that. And if you have to overpay, at this point with Maxey, could he become a great player? I still believe so. But if you're telling me that Maxey is the difference between Bradley Beal and not, I'm sorry, Tyrese, but, you can build that out in Washington. Or whatever the case may end up being. Because you can't wait anymore. And you can't wait 4 years. This has to be resolved in the next 2-3 months. That's the timeline you're on, Dale, whether you like it or not. Otherwise, they're telling me that this year is a waste. And I can't take 2 Philadelphia teams are a waste. The Eagles are a fucking garbage fire. I wouldn't even dare to waste any time on the Philadelphia Eagles. But if you're telling me that you're going to waste this year for the Sixers too, I'm going to have to find a new hobby outside of sports. So, that's what I have. You win against the Thunder, and it's not how you win, or rather, it's not that you won, it's how you win. And how we won is just not sustainable for 82 games. I'll say this on a positive ending note. The best teams find different ways to win. Is this an example of that, or is this an example of a team that's going to struggle to score consistently throughout the regular season and into the playoffs? We're about to find out. Sixers Universe. Peace.